Hey everybody, I'm Bueller from Comics with Bueller, and this is
Bob from Everything Comics.
and you're watching Comic Book Addicts.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new Comic Book Addicts. It's Monday, June 17th, and coming off a Father's Day weekend. I hope all you fathers out there had a great, very good, very happy Father's Day. I hope you guys got to spend time with your families and eat some good food, have a good time, do whatever you wanted to do for this past weekend. But I think that's pretty much the big thing of the weekend. That and a lot of people got to go to Heroes Con. I did not. I'm extremely jealous of everyone that got to go. But I was checking out everybody's pictures and stuff like that on Instagram from the past couple of days, and it looked amazing. Looked like a lot of people were there, and it looked like everybody had a good time. So, but yeah, I hope all you fathers out there had a great and happy Father's Day. And I hope everybody had fun at Heroes Con. The Monday night lineup is here. It's Monday night. Everybody except for Between the Lines. Roscoe is on his way to Florida tonight. But besides that, everybody else is going. Izzy actually started early. He started at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And we have Council of Comics at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then we got 22 Comics doing his top 10 alternatives as usual at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I love that show. That's always a lot of fun if you've never checked that out before. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern time, we got Will, my homie Will, Cup of Comics with Monday Night Raw books. Always a fun hangout. So if you haven't checked those out, be sure you head over and check those out after this is over with, or during with Council of Comics. Council of Comics, they do a fun live stream over there as well. But we got a whole night ahead of us full of awesome comic book related live streams. So be sure to check those out. We also have the CBC Awards kickoff. It kicked off yesterday, I believe. And I got this brand new promo to play for you guys. So check this out.
Hey, YouTube, Brian LCS with a CBC Awards update. The nominations are now open for the 2024 CBC Awards, and it runs through August 10th. Visit cbcawards.org, click on the Nominate Now. It will open up the nomination ballot with the 30 categories that you can vote in. You don't need to fill out the entire ballot. If you just want to pick and choose which category, that is fine. One thing I'd recommend is not to just put a single channel across all 30 categories. Certainly not all channels and creators meet the criteria for every category. So just keep that in mind. And as you can see, we have an ongoing list of nominated channels. We'll be updating that periodically throughout the period to help show what other channels are being nominated, what other people are voting for, and to hopefully build some excitement. So check out that list. Get your ballot in now until August 10th.
Yes, I'm excited for another year of CBC Awards. It was a lot of fun last year, and I look forward to celebrating different creators in this community because there are a lot of good content creators in this community. And next week on Comic Book Addicts, the next couple of weeks, we got some good guests coming up. Next week, we have comic book collector Sergio Giovanni. Really cool dude. A homie of mine, comic book collector. He's got an awesome collection, and it's got a lot of stuff to talk about. So it's going to be fun. I hope you guys will come back next Monday for that. And then the week after that, Adam from Collecting with Durs will be joining me. He'll be co-host, and we will have Fire Guy Ryan Sargent, on to talk about Crashdown, the 4-issue series that was it wrapped up recently, and I read it, and it was really good. I enjoyed it, and I want to talk to him about the series and where he plans to go, where him and Comic Tom plan to go with that series. So it was pretty good, and it kind of left off where it kind of left room for a sequel, I guess you could say, for like a volume 2. So I don't know. We'll talk to him about it and find out. But anyways, I hope everybody's doing good. I got an awesome guest here to talk to us. We're going to be talking about some comic book accessories as well as comic books tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun because that's sort of a rabbit hole that I haven't delved into too far. So I'm interested to learn some new things. But first, before I bring out the guest, got the segment that we do every week by the name of YouTube Polls. YouTube Polls is where I ask you guys. I throw up a couple of different questions on YouTube throughout the week, and I'll let you guys answer, and you guys determine the winner or the answer to the question, whatever it may be. The first poll for this week, though, was who was the better character, Captain Carter or American Dream? And I realized probably Captain Carter is a much more familiar character, having appeared in Marvel's What If, but American Dream was a pretty cool character as well. But I asked, let me know who your favorite badass woman with the shield is in the comments if you thought of a better one than that. But as I predicted, 77% of you said Captain Carter, with 23% of you picking American Dream, which wasn't really a big surprise. Honestly, the reason I asked that one, I was kind of wondering how people felt about Captain Carter, if she was still a character that people liked. So poll number 2, this one's for my toy collectors out there. Out of the 3 different versions of She-Hulk that Hasbro has produced, which is your favorite? And the reason I wanted to ask this question is because we had the new She-Hulk figure drop this past week. It's starting to show up in GameStops and different stores in my area, at least, and it's awesome. It looks straight out of the John Byrne run. It's spectacular. It's fantastic. I love it. But I wanted to know which one of the figures that you guys like the best. So I threw up the MCU version, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Savage She-Hulk, and then the new one, of course, Sensational She-Hulk. And 49% of you picked the new one. So kind of not a surprise there. That's the best one, I feel like. I found some flaws with that one, but overall, it's a pretty damn cool figure. Savage She-Hulk, 27%, and dead last, the MCU version, 24%, which I actually would have thought would have been lower. But cover of the week. Who did you guys pick for cover of the week this week? I threw up my 4 favorites, and the 4 that I threw up were Asagi Yojimbo, The Crow, issue 1, the Derek Chew cover, ASM Blood Hunt, issue 2, and this is the Bjorn Barons cover. Really awesome cover. It's one that you turn to the side and look at it that way, but it was really, really beautiful cover. Scarlet Witch, issue 1, Jenny Frizen, and Ultimate Spider-Man, issue 1, the sixth printing by Chichetto. And Scarlet Witch blew all the other covers away. The Jenny Frizen cover took cover of the week. So was that a surprise to you guys? Were you surprised about that one? I kind of figured that one would take the cake this week. That's a pretty amazing cover, and definitely at the top for me as far as like favorite Jenny Frizen covers that have came out in recent history. That one's really awesome. That one, and she's really actually been on a hot streak here lately. She had the Spider-Gwen one, I think, last week that was really good, and Vampirella the week before that was really, really good. Good stuff, though. Anyways, let's see who we got in the chat this evening. We got Las Crucius first, as usual. Las Crucius says hooray and woohoo and hello from New Mexico. We also got Gary Woods. He says hello. Hope the dads had a great Father's Day weekend. Me too, Gary. I hope that everybody got to eat a good dinner or do something special with your loved ones and have a good time. We got Tony Comiverse. He says, good evening, Scott. What's up, Tony? Thank you for joining us, man. And as more people pop in, I'll shout you guys out. And I think maybe Izzy is still going live for his HeroCon hangout. But anyways, let's bring the guest out. We got Rich, Comic Cap Collectibles. What's up, man? He says, hello, all. Hey, Scotty. Welcome, Rich. And I will be doing the giveaway as promised from this past week. What's up, Kenneth Bird? He says hi to everyone here tonight. I will be doing the giveaway later on tonight. So as promised, I know I did sort of a bad job about explaining when it was going to take place. But we'll do it later on tonight. So stick around for that. I got like 22 people in the drawing. So we'll run it later on tonight. And what's up, Kenneth? I hope you're doing all right, man. And as more people pop in, I'll shout you out. But let's get the guest out here because I've been blabbing on way too long. Our guest this evening is here to talk to us, like I said before, about some comic book accessories, some awesome, different, alternative ways to display our comic books that we love so much. So y'all help me welcome Dan from Crafti Comics. Uh-oh.
Hi.
What's up,
There
Dan?
I am. What's up, Scotty? Thanks again for having me, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Glad that you could be here and hang out with us and talk to us about some different stuff.
Heck
Um,
yeah.
Curious to see what you collect. Are you a comic book collector yourself?
I am, yeah. I've been a collector, my whole life. Back when, parents let you run down to the comic book shop downtown when you were like 7 years old to pick up
Yeah.
stuff, by yourself. And
Oh wow.
I was a big Spider-Man fan when I was a kid. Then did the thing that everyone does when they hit puberty and they get too cool for comics. They like sell their whole collection.
Yep,
And then
I
you get,
did
as
that.
you get older, you regret it and you end up spending way more to rebuy all the things that you originally had. Um,
I did that.
so yeah, I've gone through several phases of collecting and collect a little bit of everything. From modern books, older books, graded books, raw books, art prints, just kind of cool stuff. I'm more for of the unique kind of stories behind what we collect
Yeah.
versus just the thing itself. I think that's the most fun part of all this.
And I am too. I'm glad that you said that because I'm a super sentimental collector. I don't collect for value really, which I have some valuable books in my collection. But a lot of my books are important to me for sentimental reasons because I'm just a sentimental person and I have stories attached to the book. So I totally understand that. But you have these cases that you promote on Instagram that I see
Yeah.
all the time, and it's the reason that I wanted to have you on and talk to you. But you show these cases off on Instagram,
Yeah.
and they look really great. I've never went down that rabbit hole before. As far as like the self encapsulation and stuff like that, the different options. But tell us a little bit about the product that you promote on your Instagram.
Yeah, right on. So at Crafty, we make frames and displays for people like me that collect a little bit of everything, whether it's modern comics, older books, treasuries, like larger things, graded books. So here on the wall, you'll see behind me, I've got some of our flex slabs up here, and the reason we
What?
call them flex slabs is that they're customizable. So you can see there's different color options that you can do. You can even adjust the depth of these things. So if you've got thicker books, they go up to a 1/4 inch deep. And we use museum quality acrylic, which is a big key because, collectors who, love their collections, one of the biggest reasons why they tell me they're afraid to display something or they just want it to sit in the box is that it's light damage, right? You're really worried about that. So we
Yeah.
use a museum quality acrylic that's 99% UV protected. So whether you've got, original sketches or this Frank Miller signature is one of my favorite just because of how much that yellow signature like pops off of that cover. Just such a
Mhm.
beautiful cover.
It
Like
really
you're
is.
talking about with all these covers of the week, like it's not always just about the value of the book, but these things are works of art too. And
Absolutely.
the goal for the company was to really create something that helped celebrate that art, didn't detract from it, didn't wasn't about a grade or a score necessarily. It was just really about how can we best emphasize the artwork and these things that we love. And this is what we've come up with, our flex labs.
That's really cool. And I think that you do a good job of doing that, especially with the way that it's interchangeable, how the background, the colors are interchangeable. Um, Man, it would look
Thanks.
so
Yeah, well,
good.
everyone collects a little bit differently. I'll pop one off the wall for you so you can see a little bit closer. This
Yeah,
is one
yeah,
of my original sketches from Tom Hodges, who I love so much.
that's
And you
really
can
cool.
see in back, so you got twin engraved mounts, meaning these slabs can be hung either vertically or horizontally, right? Depending on what orientation of the cover is.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and because we used a layered design, maybe it's hard to see here,
Hey,
but
Brian.
the big thing a lot of people ask is they say, are these like those old school 90s screw downs for sports cards, that
Hmm.
sandwich them in there?
Yep.
And no, there is a recessed layer of acrylic. And so whether you've got, a book that's 1/8 of an inch thick or one that's a thicker book, 1/4 of an inch, you have
Mhm.
the exact spacing that you need in there. And as you can see, it results in something that there's not wiggle room left over. I don't have to
Okay.
put the book in the bag in the board. I can put it in there itself, but it's all acid-free acrylic. That's museum quality, so I don't have to worry about damaging the inks, the book, the
Oh,
spine,
nice.
anything like that. You know?
So when you buy one of those, you don't have to replace it over time. It's more or less good forever with it being museum quality.
That's right. Yeah, no need to swap it out. The acrylic doesn't even off gas. So the shelf life of the UV protection is something like 100 years. So it's going to outlive
Oh,
all
wow.
of us.
Yeah.
But what is fun too, because I've got boxes of books, right? I can't necessarily display all of them at the same
Yeah,
time.
of course.
But because you can open the slabs up, you can swap out different books, different border colors. And so you can create totally unique looks,
I
create
love
totally
that.
unique walls and themes over time. My favorite thing, I've had a few collectors message me with their walls, and they say they turn it into like a fun guessing game for
Mhm.
guests. So it's like you come over, you got to guess the theme of the wall, right? Maybe it's all first appearances, maybe it's all the same artist or
That's
something like
fun.
that, right? So it's a
That's
way
fun.
of getting everyone involved in your collection versus it's just this thing that sits in the basement or the garage that you take out every once in a while maybe to leaf through. Now it's
Mhm.
something you're more actively involved in sharing the experience with all the time.
I love it. Yeah, I love that. And I never even thought about that aspect of it. But that's really cool. It sounds potentially fun. You could play games with it, and the interchangeable backgrounds, like you said. I'm one of those people that really enjoy that aspect of it, and just being able to customize and display different. Like there's
Hmm.
that Frizzen cover that I was showing, that one cover of the week a few minutes ago. Like that would look beautiful with like a red background. Just display it
Yeah,
up on
yeah.
the wall like a good signed copy of it. Look
In fact, I had
amazing.
to take out the one I have from her too that I had signed by James Tynan when I
Oh,
got the
that's
chance to meet
sweet.
him. This DOT is one of my absolute favorites as well.
That is so
Yeah, I think
good.
she's incredibly talented. But yeah, it's just I want to help people celebrate the things that they like to collect. But my favorite way of personalizing these is one of our kind of newer features that we now include with all of our slabs.
Ooh,
It's a
okay.
small little sticker that you might see kind of right up here. That's got
Yeah,
our logo on it. And
I
this is
see
what we
that.
call our Crafty Curator. It's an NFC enabled tag. So, what that means is, as a collector, Scotty, you can link any digital content that you want to your
Mhm.
physical collectible. So, for example, with this Doom copy I've got right here, I
Okay.
went and I attached a URL to an online copy of the comic. So even though I self slabbed it, I
Yeah,
can still always read it anytime I want just by holding my phone up to it.
that's really
Okay.
cool. I love
Yeah.
that.
But there's no right or wrong way to do it. So that's our big thing for us is not like we're going to tell you how to do it or what to do, or we don't want you to send us your books to do any of these cool things. We just want to design things. We laser cut everything here in Southern California, and we want to ship them to people to see what they do with them.
Yeah.
Like for this one right here that I showed you before, but I've got our curator that links to a video of the artist doing the artwork. Okay. So
Sweet.
from an artist collector's experience, right? All these moments where whenever you meet someone, you take a photo of it, right? Maybe you take a picture with the celebrity.
Mhm.
You can now link these memories to your physically slabbed comics.
That's so
And
cool.
whether it's you trying to remember it, or again, you got guests over and you want to share that experience, now it's much more interactive than just say
Wow.
a paper label that's got stuff printed out on it.
Man, that's really cool. So, like, say a lot of these people watching right now that were at Heroes Con this past weekend, you're at a signing, you could record the signing and have it linked to the book that's signed. Correct? That's what you're saying.
That's
With
right.
the
Yeah,
all you
it's
have to
the
do is scan the NFT that's in the top corner.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's super easy, and it's something that anyone can. You don't need to be a programmer to do this. You could
Wow.
link it yourself in like 30 seconds with a free app, and you don't need a special app to access it. Like
Mhm.
anyone with an NFC enabled phone, which is most phones nowadays, all they'll
Yeah.
have to do is hold their phone up to it, and it pops right up for them to click to be able to access.
Oh, okay,
And it's
cool.
something that you can even lock, right? So maybe you got a book and you're like, hey, I'm never opening this thing, I never want this experience to change. You can lock that digital experience, or you can rewrite over it. Just like you open up your slab and you swap out different books, you can write over your curator again and again, to
Wow.
just kind of just do all kinds of crazy things with it.
That is really cool. Matt, Comics by the Bay, what's up, man? He says this is an awesome idea. I agree. It's that's
Thank you.
something this is an aspect that and like I said, I'm new to this, so I don't know if it's but this is an aspect of it that I've never thought about before that I think is just really cool. And is this something that is this like an original idea that only you guys do, or is it, do you guys have any sort of
I mean,
did you create it is what I'm trying to get to.
yeah, I mean, well, let's see. NFC
Okay.
technology it's called near field communicators, right? And
Mhm.
there's all kinds of technology that use that. I first experienced it when someone was sharing like these little business card type of things, and it's how people could instantly exchange, their social handles or other information.
I've seen
And I
that.
thought that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Like, let's look
It is
into how
cool.
that works. And at the end of the day, it was just an NFC tag. We looked into some, tests because there's different ones that can take different, memory sizes, different, like how adhesive are they, right? What's the quality of them? How long are they going to last you?
Mhm.
And so after doing some sourcing and testing, that's something that we came out with is one of our more recent developments. Because what we've always just the mindset we've had over the last 4 years that we've kind of built and grown this company is just, let's listen to collectors and let's see what they're asking for and what cool things, and let's try things and put them out there. And if collectors respond positively, let's keep it. And if they don't respond to it, let's get rid of it. Let's try the next idea and move on to the next thing.
Absolutely. I love it. And where
Yeah.
did you say you said you guys are based in Southern California?
Yeah, Southern California. I'm in our facility in Moore Park right now.
Cool.
And yeah, it all started from just in COVID quarantine in my garage when my wife wouldn't let me put the BCW frames up in the house because she said they looked too cheap. I went to
Oh,
my friend Jen who had a small laser, and I said, "Hey, you could definitely make me something better than this, right?"
yeah.
And sure enough, she did. I posted it online. People wanted to know where to get it, and we just started an Instagram and then a website and just built this thing now over the last 4 years to where we have industrial size lasers that are 10 feet across, feeding in giant
Wow.
sheets of wood and acrylic. We've expanded, into displays for graded books as well, right?
Oh man.
Because people with graded comics, you got the same problem, right? You love these
Exactly. You
things,
do.
you invest all this time and energy and emotions like into getting it back, and then it sits in a box. So we want to help you take those cool graded slabs that you've got too, pop them up on the wall, but again, 99% UV protected, so you'll never have to worry about that grading,
Yeah.
going down from what it is.
That's so cool because I can't tell you, like I've actually had this happen before where I had a slab displayed and I didn't have it displayed inside of anything and it fell off the wall and it cracked the slab. I mean, because
Yep.
all it takes is a short fall and those slabs
Yep.
will crack. It really, it doesn't take much, honestly.
Does not take much at all. So that's why we have twin engraved mounts. So you'll see a lot of other frames or cases out there. They use kind of like the teeth, that single
Mhm.
mount, right?
Okay.
Makes it somewhat easier, but problem is it's not as secure, right? I live in Southern California,
Right.
so obviously they got to be earthquake proof out here. But
Yeah. Yeah.
also because of the spine of the book being a little bit heavier, like it's not as easy to keep them all straight, right? And so
Mhm.
the twin mounts really help keep everything secure on the wall, keep it flush. But we do provide a hanging template. So when you're trying to make, very symmetrical walls like this,
That's
it's
always an issue.
it's easy for you to do so. Like, even though our name is Crafty Comics, I promise you, I'm not the craftiest dude in the world. Okay, like I need a lot of help. So I tried to, we tried to design these things for someone like me, so you can still create really cool walls and displays, but you don't have to like know how to read a tape measure, which I totally don't. But I don't tell anyone that. But little things like that.
That's yeah, because that's always an issue. Hanging them up and hanging them up in a straight line is an issue for me. So
Yep.
any help I could definitely use.
Yeah, that's great. And I posted a video recently too because I recently moved. In my personal life, But I use it as an opportunity, like, hey, get a new nerd room now, right? With fresh white walls. And so
Yes.
I've been doing before and after content and giving people little tips staying up at night. Like, hey, look, here's how I'm spacing these things out. So you can see how easy it is to do.
Now, where can people find that at?
Just our website. Everything is crafticomics.com, and that's crafty with an I. This that you see here is our Flex display case, and this is for graded books. And it's basically you're choosing whether you want something for the comic size or the magazine size. And then we have 3 different backing options for this one. Right now, I'm showing you the all clear acrylic look, which is the very minimal look. But we also have a black acrylic and a white acrylic option for collectors too. Yeah,
very cool. Now, would I need to get a different size for, like, do you make a particular one, a special one for the magazine format, or do you?
We do, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, so we make we have now 6 different sizes. So you've got your modern comic book size. Let's see if I can list them all off the top of my head. Modern comic book size. We've got our bronze through golden age size, which is a little bit larger. We've got a size up that's similar to that. It's for kind of like the art print sketches. I don't have one behind me, but the cool sketches that people get on the comic book backings and boards.
Yes.
We have an option that goes for those that's up to 7 by 10.5 inches interior spacing.
Very cool.
We've got our magazine one, our treasury one, which is my kind of personal favorite because grading companies won't take those treasury books. That was inspired by someone at my LCS out here in Chatsworth. We Can Be Heroes. And they said, my grail of all grails is my Neil Adams signed Superman versus Ali treasury. And he explained to me the issue with trying to get it graded. That was, I want to say, like the 3rd product we had ever developed here. And since has become like a fan favorite because there's nothing much else to do with those treasuries. And on the artwork on both sides of those covers is incredible. So especially with the all acrylic option, being able to see both sides of it and pop it up on the wall has been really cool.
And it's funny that you talk about the treasury size. I got a book I want to show you. Hold on.
Okay.
And this is Neil Adams as well. Unfortunately, it's not. It's just a reprint, so nobody get too excited. But it's a beautiful book. It's just the size of the book. It's huge.
Oh snap! It's foil too. Oh, so
it's a foil reprint of this of Neil Adams. It's a limited collector's edition, and it's a beautiful book. It's a wraparound cover, but I have no real way of displaying it because it's just such a big book. But you're saying you have the answer. You have the answer.
That's right.
To that.
That'll be our treasury frame, and since you want to see both sides, you'll want to go the all acrylic look. So you can pop that up on the wall, still see both sides. You can then even, use our curator to link it to like something that tells you that it's a limited edition, right? Or maybe heck, even link it to a dynamic link to eBay sold listings, so no one ever has to question like, how much is this worth? Like, someone could just scan it and take you right to that information. But yeah, that is a great book. Definitely a good example of what you want to display.
Yeah, because previously I've had no way to display it. It's just been on a shelf, displayed the best that I could, but I could definitely use one of those cases.
Don't even make boxes for them, so they just sit in piles, man. It's like all the 11 by 17 art prints that I would pick up from cons, would just end up sitting in piles for like, I'll get to it someday. And that was like over the past 2 years, the #1 requested design ask that we were getting. And so we came out with our 1117 frame that is currently the largest size that we have. So if anyone's got, cool prints, it's a great option. And it also it accommodates 2 comic books side by side. So for anyone that's got really cool connecting covers, wraparound covers, we've got options for those too.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really cool. And Tony said that he has a G.I. Joe #1 treasury edition that he would love to throw in a case. Well, there you go, Tony. He's got you covered, man. crafticomics.com. You guys be sure to hit him up. We got John's Comics with Kids in the house. What's up, John? He says hello all. Welcome, John. Hope you're having a good evening or afternoon in California, a little bit behind here in Chattanooga. what is the general price range for these different products?
Yeah, great question. So our slab that I showed before in the all acrylic,
Mhm.
it's wall mountable. It comes with the curator, and it also comes with an easel display stand, which I coincidentally don't have. Here, I'll steal one of these right here.
That's really cool. That's a
So
cool
right, so
addition.
it comes with the easel. So if you don't want to wall mount it, or you've run out of wall space, you can instantly pop your books up on. I use IKEA
Or
cubbies, pop it on a mantle, anything like that.
for like content creators, say if you're a content creator and you want to do a YouTube short or you want to do a reel for Instagram or something like that, a temporary display, it would make for a good temporary display.
Yeah, but something like this is our flex slab. It's $22 for the modern
$22.
size. That's right. Yep. And you can upgrade from there. Add UV both sides. It's an additional 10. And then scaling all the way up to like our slab frames. They start at 50 for the modern size.
Okay,
And
that's
then
not bad.
with the different color options, go up to 60. But it's a nice middle kind of range. It's not going to be the cheap plastic options that you can get from Amazon kind of in bulk,
Well, you're
but
talking
it's
about
also not going to be.
museum quality acrylic, like you were saying earlier. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the best of the best.
Yeah, it's the best of the best, but it's not going to be as expensive as like your local framing options. To where you go there, right? It's going to
Okay.
be like a few $100s to get a book framed. It'll be in glass, so it'll be heavier, and it's also got those very heavy like matte and border designs, which I was never a fan of because I felt like they took away from the book. The book was an afterthought, whereas I wanted really the comic and the collectible to be at the forefront. Um,
Yeah,
so it's a
absolutely.
nice middle tier for people, and yeah, because we use the best materials, it's something that you're going to at least appreciate, for a long time.
And you said they'll last a lifetime. So it's
They
you buy
will.
one, it's going to last longer than we're going to be alive. So
That's right.
it's a
And
good investment.
before I forget, because ultimately, like I said, we got boxes. Everyone's got too many comics to put on a wall at the end of the day.
Yep.
We do also have just very basic but excellent clear acrylic backings. All right.
Nice. I
So
need those.
perfect for those raw books. But here's what makes them a little bit different than some of the other ones out there. Again, I don't know if you can see how thick. These are 1/8 inch acrylic. That's roughly twice as thick as the other ones out there. They're
Wow.
perfect for Mylars, and for anyone who's tried them before, they give books an almost slab-like feel just in their bags.
Nice.
So, and those start at just $1.50 a piece. So it's nice for like those books you're traveling maybe to take to a con to get signed. You want to make
Yep.
sure it's protected in transit. Our clear acrylic backings are great for that.
Man, I have so many really cool wraparound covers or books like that I need clear backboards. So that's really cool. And you said they're twice as thick. So
Twice as thick. Yeah, because I had looked at, it's something that going into, because one of the questions I got from someone on Instagram for this interview that we were doing, they
yeah.
wanted to see if I'd make thinner clear boards,
Okay.
kind of similar to what the other guys are doing, which
Because there are going to be people that would prefer a thinner board. There are always going to be those people out there.
yeah, and I mean, it's like technically, yeah, I could do that. It's just 1/16 inch acrylic. It's just using a different material than the one that we've got. But personally, it's like, well, if the other options exist out there, go for that. And I just wanted to do it differently, or what I felt
Okay.
was better, even if it's not what everyone thinks is better. And to me, I've tested both of them. I just prefer the 1/8 inch acrylic, because of the thickness. Not
Yeah.
for everyone, because it does reduce the amount of books, for example, that you can display or hold in a short box. Also weighs down that short box a bit more than the 1/16 inch. But I'm
Mm.
telling you, once you hold it, then you kind of get it,
Feels
and you're
really
like,
good
all
and
right,
sturdy.
yeah. So hopefully there's other people out there that are willing to give them a shot. But even though I could go with the thinner acrylic, probably won't.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think I like the idea of having the thicker ones. So I would
Yeah.
probably prefer those, honestly.
But I do love ideas from people. Again, that's how we've just
Yeah,
grown this company, is by listening to collectors, and whether they want to see different materials or sizes, or they collect different things. Always we encourage people, if you don't follow us on social, message us, email us. Like we're all ears.
And the thing about this community, the comic book community is brilliant. It's full of really smart, really intelligent, really creative people. So it's always good to get feedback from people in this community.
100%.
Welcome.
And the amazing artists too that I've gotten the chance to see grow their businesses, especially kind of going back to when we started our business during COVID, and suddenly all these artists were home going, well, let me see if I put my art up, if it sells. And suddenly they had one customer turn into 10, turn into hundreds. And it's been really cool to watch that growth for them. And, sometimes get to work with their collectors too, to make a display for it and get to connect with them and talk to some of my favorite creatives online too.
Absolutely. Who are some of your favorite creators?
Oh, great question. So right now I was telling you, I'm into anything like Jeff Johns and the whole unnamed universe. I love Geiger, dude, Redcoat, Junkyard Joe. Like as soon as I started reading Geiger, I was like, I can't wait to see someone pick this up and do something with this. And when I read the plans for the whole universe, I got excited. And then everything I read wasn't a letdown. It's not just like a crammed in kind of thing for having the sake of a universe. Like, no, they're all individually well told stories, great artwork. James Tynion, I'll read anything James Tynion. Graphics wise, I love Peach Momoko, obviously, Pat Gleason, Scotty Young, all of those. And maybe I'm biased because all three of those are also customers of ours, and they have our frames in their offices or things. So it's like one of those, you get an order and you kind of recognize the name or something like that. You're like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Out. Yeah,
that's a big deal, man.
Very exciting. Yeah, and you get to learn cool stories, and I just like to talk to them like they're people, not necessarily like a nerd out and fan out, but like, hey, just what were you thinking behind that ASM 55, cover, Pat Gleason, that became iconic? Were you anticipating that? And his answer was just very simple, like, oh, I assumed someone had drawn a Spider-Man out of spider webs before, and I was shocked when I learned that they hadn't, and I just thought it was a natural thing. He actually pitched it for an earlier cover, but Marvel turned it down and pushed it back. So that's why it's on 55.
Wow.
And just, I don't think anyone ever maybe anticipated it becoming as popular as it was, but it was like my favorite modern cover, I think, that, that I can think of right now. And I've got every like color variation of it, and I put it up on the wall. And so
I did too,
those are some of my favorites.
Those are awesome favorites. I love every one of those. And the book that you mentioned, the ASM 55, I actually have it slabbed over here on my wall. And I have every color as well. It's just such a really cool cover. And that was a cool fact that you shared with us. Thanks for sharing that. That's information that I have never heard before. And I love hearing stuff like that. That's really cool. What type of stuff do you collect yourself? What are you collecting and putting in those frames yourself? What's your favorite kind of stuff that you're collecting?
Oof. Man, great question. Again, I like I'm trying to think if I've got I love original artwork is like my absolute favorite.
I see that.
So like this one, I had this American Jesus blank for the longest time, and I didn't know what to do with it until Bryce Harper hit this home run to like send the Phillies to the World Series. I'm a big Philadelphia fan.
Nice.
So I had Tom Hodges when I saw him at a con. He did that one for me.
That's sick.
Yeah, Joe Rubenstein with this Green Goblin remark on like the hollow kind of Spider-Man anniversary cover is another favorite of mine.
Really cool.
Again, I just like things that like no one else has necessarily, and maybe it only has
one of a kind
value to me. This one too. So this is another favorite. This is Donny Cates. Yeah, it's a beautiful book. It's the Blacklight variant. But the reason this one's extra special to me is because when I met Donny Cates at Arsenal Comics and Games in Newbury Park out here, it was the longest line, and it took forever. And I'd brought my 7-year-old with me. I want to say he's like 5 at the time. And he wants to leave. He's being very patient. But we get up to the front. Donnie starts talking to him. He goes, hold on. Comes out from around the table. He took my son to the wall of of pops on the wall, Funko Pops.
Yeah.
He said, you pick out any one you want. And he bought my son a Funko. And so that to me, awesome. Like, the guy, after hours of signing autographs and talking to people, like still took the time to see that like my son was like really dragging, you know, and
Yep.
to like talk to him and to just engage with him. And so I had Donnie sign a few things for me. I gave him, you know, one of our frames as a gift, but that memory
How
of
cool is
him
that?
being, yeah, it's amazing. So I literally think of that every time I look at this book. And so for anyone who like out there is like, oh, I don't know about displaying things and blah, there's something that's difficult to describe about being able to recall memories or like
Mhm.
feel like you're a kid again every time you look at that thing up on the wall. And it
Yep.
doesn't have to be worth, you know, a ton for the memory to be like that important to you. Ryan
Right.
Otley, this is another one. I got to talk to Ryan on Instagram. He's one of my
Awesome.
favorites.
Yes,
And he
Ryan
told
Otley is
me,
awesome.
yeah, he's from Utah. And I saw that and
Nice.
I was like, man, I've always wanted to go out to Utah because I like metal detecting too. That's another one of my hobbies. And I was like, there's
Sweet.
lots of cool ghost towns out in Utah. And so we got to talk about metal detecting. Apparently his son had brought up as a hobby. And I said, Ryan, here's the trick to get kids hooked into it is you got to plant an old coin for them to find the first time. So let them
To get
find
their
something old the first time,
enthusiasm
then they're
up.
always hooked.
Okay.
So I went into my collection and I found another old coin that I had, and I sent that to him. So I said, "Here, you could bury this, help find it, you know, with your son. He'll be hooked on some treasure hunt." And so yeah, every time I look at my Invincible book, I think of that too. But you know,
So cool.
so many things, and even over my cubbies over here, these are some like the more random, like not comic book things, but I've got some of my original trailers from the Spider-Man movies.
What?
Yeah, those are some
How
of my
cool
favorites. Got
are those?
this. Living out in
Oh
Southern
yeah.
California, not too far from Hollywood and LA, you do come across cool things at yard sales.
That's
Um,
amazing. That's
oh,
that's beyond cool. That's
how about
amazing.
how about this? This is one of our partners here, Jessica, at the office. She has an original recording from Tupac.
What?
That's actually
An
pretty
original
cool.
recording from Tupac.
Yeah, those very
That's
often. So
crazy.
we've got that in the cubbies. Uh, I've got
What's
some
up,
sports
BBH?
cards here from one of our favorite artists that we've worked with on Popfly Pop Shop. For anyone who follows them on Instagram, they do cool baseball inspired comic prints and stuff. Some Power Rangers stuff down here because I'm a big Power Rangers fan. And
Love
you'll see
Power Rangers.
I've got things displayed on like our mini easels here for cards. I've got
You
things
have mini
displayed on,
easels?
that's right, mini easels, dude. So we took
What?
our very popular easel design
I
for
need.
comics.
I really legit need one of those.
Yeah, again, we need. I'll show you a picture of my new nerd room at home. I've got all my Otani Project 100 cards, all kind of lined up on these mini easels. But yeah, they're
Oh,
great
that's
for
cool.
that. For sports cards too. My obscure
Man.
football league XFL and AAF
So you guys
collection.
got it covered. You got it all the way from Treasury Legendary Edition all the way down to sports cards. You got every size covered.
Yeah,
That's
again, it's
crazy.
just I really do consider ourselves a collector's company. Like we're not a slab company or a frame. Like we're just a collector's company. We
Well, yeah, you
are
got an amazing
comprised.
collection you're showing off there.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like we are collectors, so we think like collectors. We design for people like us, and so then we listen to people like us. And when
Mm-hmm.
people are like, "Hey, you know, I'm into coins, and here's this whole coin problem," you know, heck, I'll look into that maybe. You know,
Okay.
it goes into like an idea pile, and once you get enough requests for things, you go, "Oh, let's make a prototype," you know, put it out there and see what happens.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What is something that you are as a collector? This is a collector question. What is something that you're currently kind of trying to track down for your own personal collection right now? What's something you're on the hunt for this year?
Ooh, that is a good question. Um, hmm.
Do you just
You know,
kind of
it's funny because
pick up treasures as you find them, or do you have a collector's goal for this year? Like some books that you're really trying to track down?
man, that is a great question. You know, it's like on the list of books that I had wanted, I had found a bunch of them. because it was like Planet of the Symbiotes was a thing that was on my list for a while.
Okay.
Like Infinity Crisis, like some of those runs, all the Black Spider-Man, like first suit appearances,
All the early
first
appearances.
Carnage. Yeah, so like I was just kind of going after my favorite characters and stuff. Now I got my Rocketeer books even, so I'm trying to think. I would love. Actually, here's on my list of two people that I've talked to a lot, but I've never actually met in person, and would love to like meet them and get something signed out to the company for my wall. But is Pat Gleason and Peach Momoko.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I've talked to them a ton. They have our stuff, but I've never, the cons just never lined up. Like where they were going, I wasn't, and where I was going, they weren't. So if I got the chance to meet those two this year, I think that would be excellent.
Nice.
But
So
other
do
than
you
that,
have
Grail books,
anything?
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
I
no,
was
you're
just
all
gonna
good.
ask you, do you have anything signed by either one of them already in your collection?
Uh, no, and I think I had held off because it was one of those things. I was like, well, I'm going to try to earn it. You know, that's going to be my
Yeah.
goal, is to meet them and then have it signed to me and then make it more special. So yeah, nothing yet.
And then you can record the meeting and have it attached to the where you can scan it, and
100%. Yeah,
boom, there you go.
100%. Yeah. How
Gary
about
with
you? What's on your list of stuff that you're trying to hunt down?
uh a bunch of random keys, honestly. There's not really, well, actually, I say there's not really. There is one really big book that I'm after. It's a really early Shazam book from 1947. I think
Okay.
it's issue 38. They're at Rock City. There's a battle that happens here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it's just a historical, it's a Chattanooga thing. It's just got, it has value because it's such an old Golden Age book. But it's just a historical Chattanooga local historic
Okay.
reason why that I want the book. But other than it being a Golden Age book, it's not really anything special. It's hard to find though, just because you don't see them. I've seen 2 copies on eBay and they were gone pretty quick. So kind of
Okay.
hard to track down. Maybe I'll find it
Yeah.
one day though.
I had that same feeling reading Red Coat when they had a bunch of references to the Battle of Trenton. That's where I grew
Yeah,
up in New Jersey, and so every
awesome.
year we'd always go to like the
Yeah.
battle reenactments and see, you know, the crossing of the Delaware, and so I was taking a bunch of photos from them talking about, you know, those in the story. Got all excited.
Yeah, and it's something that I've gotten into more as I've gotten older. So it's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Um, crap, I totally blanked out. I was gonna. Oh yeah. Are you more a Marvel or DC guy? You're more a Marvel guy, aren't you?
I am more of a Marvel guy, but honestly, now I'm just like indie stuff. That's the main, like Marvel and DC stuff. I find I'm picking up for the cover artwork, and the indie stuff is where I will basically pick up any number one of an indie series just to give it a shot to see
Yeah.
if like if it hooks me. Because like my favorite reads, whether it was Department of Truth, or you know 8 billion genies, like it's stuff that you read the first issue and you're like, oh shit, this is
Oh,
awesome. Like I
yeah.
see the world, I cannot wait. Time Before Time is another excellent one from Image. It's
Okay.
basically like, what if the mob controlled time travel and there's different
I
syndicates like battling over it?
I was on that
Super
run for a
cool.
little while. Yeah, I'm familiar with that series.
Yeah. So yeah, just anything indie right now, man, is really what I'm all about.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Black
Yeah.
Spider says I'm trying to collect the whole series of New Mutants and Rom the Space Knight. Almost done. Hell yeah. Congratulations, man. That's some of those
Excellent.
new Mutants books are expensive. So the first Deadpool, first Cable, those are a good chunk of change there. So if you already got those, you got it pretty much licked. So and Rom, that's a cool run. That's a cool run too. There's a lot of cool artwork on that run. I think Sinkowicz has some covers on that run. Tony says, "Good evening, DVH. What's up, everybody popping in here? What do you think sets your product apart from the other companies out here that are encapsulating books?"
Yeah. So I'd say the how like all the customizable options, whether
Yeah,
it's the color,
absolutely.
whether it's the depth, it's the size, whether it's wall mountable or tabletop display, whether you're linking digital content and any digital content to it. It's completely your way. So we're all 100% about being as unique as possible for collectors so that they can make it their own. Number
Nice.
2 would be that museum quality aspect,
Yeah.
because again, it's about that 99% UV protection. But additionally, like you mentioned with the cheap, like, slab mounts, when those slabs fall, man, you look at those things wrong and they'll crack.
Yep.
We use
Had it
our acrylic
happen.
is shatter resistant. I've done tons of tests and like stupid Instagram videos too of me like running them over with my car and like trying to light them on
Really?
fire. And yeah. So I did one where I took my Camry and I ran over a graded slab, and then I ran over one of our slabs. The graded
Wow.
one clearly shatters, as it should, because you shouldn't be running over things with your car if you collect
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, it's history.
But then the other one, yeah, it was not a scratch on it. So they're
Wow.
very durable. But also, it's really not just about the protection and pop it into a box. Like, I really do love seeing people's comic book walls and hearing about what they're collecting and the stories behind it, and gifts too. Like, so many people get these things as gifts, and then someone else gets excited in it, and you get to hear it's
Yep.
like a whole snowball effect.
And there's so many possibilities. So it's an excellent gift for a comic book collector because there's just so many possibilities that you could do with these. So
Yeah, so
possibilities are endless.
I'd like to think it's the most customizable option with the best protection and just the thing that's like the most fun. And also, it's not just the product, right? Like, because yeah, there's cheaper things that could do something similar, but it's not. It's like an experience. I always say, whether it's from the moment you're planning out what you're going to display, to you picking it out online, to even when you get it. Like, we don't ship it. It's not like you just get the slab, as it is.
Mhm.
All the pieces come covered in a brown film. So no
Okay.
one has ever touched your slab until you assemble it around your
Wow.
book.
Very
So
cool.
there's something to be said about putting aside the time. And you put your favorite show on in the back, and you get yourself a beer, and you got your stack of books, and you just take that time. You're not rushing through it. You're
Yeah.
peeling the acrylic, you're piecing it together, you're remembering how you got that thing, why it's important to you, like while you're doing it. It's this whole thing that maybe it isn't as quickly as, oh, I got the thing, I pop it open, pop the thing in, I'm done. But I definitely think it's more enjoyable.
I think so too. And that's what I want to emphasize and why I think that your product is so much cooler than some of the other ones out there. Because the one of my favorite things about doing this live stream is hearing the different memories that people have attached to their books and the experiences, how they came up with the book or how they met a certain artist or writer and got it signed, or just all the memories attached. That's one of my favorite parts of doing this live stream is learning those different memories from people, and having the memories like that attached to the book by the NFC code. Is it NFC? I'm sorry, I'm horrible with the
Yeah, it's NFC, and we just call it our crafty curator.
Crafty Curator. Having it attached to the books like that is just such a cool thing to add to it, and it definitely sets you apart, I would say. I
Thank
love
you.
that.
Do you remember the first comic you ever bought?
I don't remember. I remember my earliest memory of having a comic book in my hand. I can remember riding in the back seat of my mom's car, and I had The Thing issue 1, and
Okay, yeah.
with that orange background, you got The Thing
Yeah,
on the cover of it. It was that book,
it's
and
got like
that
first collector's issue on it, right? I think.
yep, yep.
Yeah.
That was it's only like a $15 book now in a high grade. So it's not a valuable book, but it's a valuable book to me, like sentimental
Yeah.
wise, because that's the farthest back. That's one of the farthest childhood memories I have is with that book. So
Heck
really
yeah.
cool.
That's excellent.
Yeah. I had an awesome mom when I was a kid, as far as like she was sort of a collector herself. So she would buy me a lot of stuff and contribute to my collections.
Yes, I got it. My mom was a lifelong yard sailor and one of the very first like eBayers when eBay first came out all those years ago. And I
Yeah.
want to say she, 99% sure she found this Doom #1 for me too, and
That
sent
is
me this as
awesome.
like hey, this is my yard sale find. I got this in a stack of magazines and comics. How do I do? And great job, mom. So I'm always giving mom shout outs for when I share posts of things that she had gotten me.
Yeah, that's that Doom is awesome. That's like middle school. Well, was I middle school? I think it's middle school memories for me. It's definitely cool teenage memories for me.
94, I think this is out.
94 would have been middle
96,
school
May
for me.
96 has it written right on it.
Okay, I would have been early. That would have been like freshman year of high school for me. So yeah, good memories attached to that one. That's a cool game. Doom's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, man, just something for everyone here. So like anyone listening, if there's things, I saw someone was looking like, hey, I might need something for DVDs.
Yes,
like
I
haven't gotten that request yet, but I do know people are getting more into VHS collecting, DVD collecting. So like we'll add it to the list as more requests come in. You know, we develop and prototype. But yeah.
And I do think that would be something that would be worth looking at, because there are a lot of video, like with video games, a lot of people wanting to display their inbox video games and things like that. I think that'd definitely be something to look at.
Absolutely. So yeah, hit us up. Any ideas that you've got, things that people want to see. We're also going to be doing like more limited edition, like color drops and stuff like that, because we get requests for, you know, teals and pinks, and when you're trying to source materials, it's not always easy to get it and then just keep it as a staple thing without creating too much complexity on the back end. But by minimizing our product SKUs, because as I was telling you at the beginning of the Scotty, you know, we started with a single frame, and because we just kept developing new products as we got requests in it, we ended up with a catalog of all these very complicatedly named products that no one was quite sure what to order.
Yeah.
So instead of having names for everything, we've just consolidated down to our flex slabs and our display cases. And it's just a matter of you choosing the size and some of those other options from there. But hey, can always expand into the top loader frame for cards is the next one that we're going to be coming out with, because we teased a 9-card top loader design. That's very similar to our art print frame, where it kind of pops off the wall with these 1-inch standoff mounts.
That's a really good idea, because I was really into comic cards. I was really into comic cards as a kid, and they would do some of these would have like connecting cards where it's like 9 cards that made one really big picture, and like Garbage Pail Kids would do that too. So Garbage Pail Kids would be another really cool thing you could display in those.
Yeah, here's that one. I forgot I had in my chair over here. So yeah, same all acrylic design, but yeah, for those really top loaders.
And I haven't seen anything like that from anybody else, honestly. Maybe there is. I don't know if there is. I haven't seen it before. That is really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, that's one of our latest. And yeah, again, it's like looking at, there are some other card frames and stuff out there, but like the comic frames, everything's very matte heavy, border heavy, very just dark, and the cards get lost. And so that's why everything we're doing, we're trying to keep all acrylic, very minimal, you know, clear. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there anything else that we didn't cover? Because we're like 58 minutes in. We got a couple minutes left. Was there anything that we didn't cover that you wanted to talk about?
No, you know, I think I was just we didn't really have a script for this, you know, we're just kind of hanging out, which I always appreciate. And no, I just wanted to show some of the new stuff that we've got cooking over here. And yeah, just, you know, let people know that we're always open to feedback, suggestions, future ideas. But, you know, I'm pretty confident that if anyone out there if you've never tried one of our products, if you have questions, please email us, message us. They start at $22 just for the flex slabs that you see here. And then they go up in price and size from their different variations, but all the way to our $1.50 clear backings and boards and things. A little bit of something for everyone, but yeah, Scotty, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me and give me the platform.
Yeah, man, it's been fun. I've enjoyed talking to you, and I am definitely going to get some stuff from you, because there's, like I said, the clear backboards and the card display. There's a few things that I really need for sure. So I'll be checking those out real soon. And as promised, I have a giveaway from last Tuesday, the interview with John Boy Myers, the people who entered the hashtag comic book addicts. I'm doing it old school tonight, y'all. I had everybody's name on a wheel app on my work phone, and my work phone's messed up. So I'm doing it old school. I'm drawing it out of a hat. We had 22 names, and 22 names total. Gary Woods, TM Nerdy, Durs, DVH, Cliff, Las Cruces, Kenneth Woods, Biggie Shack, 22 total. But I got everybody that entered the hashtag comic book addicts in here. The winner will win this weatherproof Spidey sticker, this brand new sealed Marvel Legends Iron Man, and the two John Boy Myers variants. One Power Girl and the other is Elektra. Both really awesome John Boy Meyer variants. So we'll go ahead and do the drawing right now. And good luck to you guys. I appreciate everybody that came to hang out tonight, as well as last Tuesday with John Boy Myers. That was a good time. But good luck, and we will see who wins my old school drawing. We got LJ Alfaro. So I don't think I've seen LJ in the chat tonight, but I do know LJ. So congratulations, LJ Alfaro. You are the winner of the Marvel Legend and the John Boy Meyer variants, but I will hit you up on Instagram because I actually know him. But congratulations, and I appreciate everybody that entered that. And Dan, man, thank you so much, dude. It's been a lot of fun talking to you. And like I said, I will be hitting you up and getting some products from you. And if any of you guys that are watching are interested in any of these products, what was the website again? It was
crafticomics.com, and that's crafty with an I. And you know, honestly, just kind of impromptu, but if you want to do a giveaway of one of our new Flex Slabs, do a giveaway for your subscribers, and I will let them pick out any color combination and thing that they want for it, and I'll send it to them.
Oh wow, okay. Let's see. Let me figure out how to run the giveaway. I haven't done a giveaway on here in a while.
Yeah. Or again, you can save it for next show. I can send you something, like, no stress. But when you were just doing it now, kind of seemed like fun, and it is a new product, so I'd like to get it out there in people's hands. So if you think of any way that you want to give one of these out to someone that was here or for the next show, you just let me know who to send it to.
Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can't set it up really quick. If not, we might have to do it next show. But I'm gonna see if I can set it up really quickly.
Go for it. Yeah, we don't do a ton of I do want to get more into doing like the giveaways and subscribing contests and stuff. We've never done that as a content angle over here at Crafty. Just a lot of time for time restraints and just trying to get it done with the team that we've got. But yeah, let's do more fun stuff to end this year out.
Let's see. It's been so long since I've done it, I can't remember.
I'm just glad I got my camera and mic working on this phone to do the stream.
Okay, yeah, I can't remember how to pull it up, honestly.
No, it's all
any
good.
You guys in there watching
the
chat? What? Well, I mean, yeah, we could do. Any of you guys in the chat? Anybody watching DVH? How do I pull up the giveaway tool on here on StreamYard?
First person to tell us how to do it wins the contest.
Oh man, yeah, it's been a while since I've done it, so I can't remember. Man, that's a bummer. I cannot remember. Yep, I can't figure it out.
Good.
It's a bummer.
Like I said, impromptu giveaway. This is what happens when you go into it without a plan. But it'll be fun. Someone will get it. They'll be surprised. You'll have it for the next show. I'll tease people about it. I'll share the link to this afterwards and everything. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. How about we do this? I'll get together with you sometime in the next couple of days, and we'll figure out something where for next Monday for a giveaway for next Monday's show.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Awesome. Well, I apologize, guys. We could have had a really cool giveaway this show, but I dorked it. I messed it up. I apologize.
No, you need the teaser for the next time. It's the thing that leads them in. You already gave away one thing. You got them hooked. Now you got to bring them back for the next time. So
there you go. Tune in next Monday. Awesome giveaway next Monday. We're going to do it on StreamYard. I'm going to have it all set up for you guys. So Gary says, sorry, wish I could help. It's all good, man. Just not that good with this tech stuff sometimes. It's been a while since I've done it. But Dan, thank you so much. Like I said, it's been so much fun talking to you. The chat's been awesome tonight. Everybody in the chat has been really great. I appreciate you guys coming out, as well as
thanks,
anybody
guys.
catching the replay, man. I really appreciate anybody that watches the replay. Definitely helps with the watch time and helps towards my monetization. So I really appreciate that, you guys. I'll be back next week with comic collector enthusiast Sergio Giovanni. He's a really cool dude. And then the week after that, we're going to have Fire Guy Ryan coming on to talk about Crashdown. So I'm excited about that. So we got some good shows coming up. So yeah, I hope that you guys will come back and see us next Monday. And we'll leave out how we always do with the little Biggie Shack. I'll see you guys next Monday.
All right. See you, Scotty.
I'd say that one is a banger, man. It's a real certified banger, dude.